Welcome to the Career Wanderlust Podcast, your compass for new career horizons. Today, we are talking with Katie Huang Shin. Katie is currently the president of Big Valley Marketing. Now, for over 25 years, Katie has worked for and led some of the world's leading public relations agencies. These have included Porter Novelli, Fleishman Hillard, We Communications, and Axicom. As a seasoned agency leader, Katie has a proven track record of leading and transforming multi-million-dollar businesses and global clients, consistently exceeding expectations. Katie is also passionate about building and directing high-performing, award-winning teams, helping to develop that next generation of PR professionals. Katie, thank you so much for joining us on the Career Wanderlust Podcast.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here and always great to see you.
Always. It's such a pleasure. And, I'm sure with all of the things that you've done over these years, all that you've experienced through the course of your career, I can only imagine the wealth and wisdom that you hold. So could you please tell us what you feel has been some of your most important career advice and why?
Gosh, yeah, it's so hard to just pinpoint to one thing. As you sort of shared in the very beginning, I've had the good fortune of working for a number of world's leading PR agencies. I think last I counted was probably 8 before Big Valley Marketing in a span of 25 years. So just sort of thinking about like, well, what is that one lesson or that one advice that I have? It was so hard. I really was trying to like think, okay, what is that? So
And you can give us a
I
couple if
really,
you want to.
oh yeah, I try to like lean into what's going on around us.
Right.
And I think that might actually be a good way to sort of, talk about this.
Mhm.
And what I've been experiencing and how things have transpired both from a technology industry, but also agency business standpoint in the last year or so. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that we have seen some very disappointing leadership behavior.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
Whether it's about, pivoting or, changing, switching business strategies, about layoffs or restructuring, or even one of the hottest topics, how do you approach return to office?
Right.
Um,
Okay.
there's been more disappointing behavior, in my opinion, than what we've
Yeah.
used to, what
Mhm.
we've basically seen in the past, right?
Yes.
So that to me reminded me of one of the lessons that I learned probably 4 agencies ago, and it was this notion of look in the mirror test.
Mm.
And I was fortunate to work with someone that really had a good anchor around character and integrity. And this person told me, as a leader, one of the things that you needed to really be mindful of is think about the decisions that you're making and the situations that you're in. By the end of the day, before you go to bed, are you able to look yourself in the mirror and say, I did the right thing. I did
So
everything.
important.
I did everything I could, and I feel good about it. And that to me is a reflection of, I think, what is not happening enough right now at a business leadership level. Because I have to say, I feel some of the decisions, and I know a lot of people that were impacted by these decisions, it felt a little soulless.
I
And
agree.
it really felt that they were not thinking about the responsibilities that they have as leaders.
Right. Right.
So I try to remind my team and, the senior leaders that I work with that this look in the mirror test is really important.
Mhm.
And remember that as much as you can, practice it as much
Mhm.
as you
Do you like what you see when you look in the mirror? Yes.
can.
It's really so important and really take a long look, right? Not
That's
just a
right. That's
glance.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I mean, human beings are, we're often very self-centered, or, we focus on, what's important to us. I think it's
Mhm.
human nature, right? But
Mhm.
I think when you're a leader, you have to think about, well, you have a level of responsibilities in terms of the
100%.
decisions that you make or you don't make, and how that would impact the people that you're responsible for.
Yes. The good leaders are the ones that's what they're paying attention to. And that's what they're they're worried about
Right.
making sure they're making the right decisions around. Absolutely.
Right.
Completely agree. I love it. Now, I always love hearing a story. Could you share a story about an impactful lesson that happened to you, an event that happened to you in your work, and share with us maybe what happened and what you learned from it?
That was another hard one. Having been in the business for so long and having been through, I think, the dot-com boom and then the dot-com bust and then, 2 or 3 financial crises and then a global pandemic. And it's literally, I joke about it sometimes with my teams, like, maybe we should write a book about all the things that
Right.
we've been through, right? It's just like there's so many different situations, whether they were on behalf of clients or in terms of like what you personally, professionally have been through. There's just so many. But I would say I can think of two situations where it really kind of falls under this category of it's not about you.
Mm. Mhm.
And the first one happened probably, gosh, 20 years ago. And I was still, I would consider myself at that time mid-career. I
Mhm.
was an account director and working for one of the greatest technology PR agency at the time. And we unfortunately was going through a major industry merger and acquisition with one of our clients. And we did not make it through the
Mhm.
agency, whether you call it battle or, shootout, whatever you call
Yeah.
it. The
Yeah.
consolidation did not bode well for us, which means that, we will be losing the business
Mhm.
in a matter of probably a quarter. And this was a significant client for us.
Mhm. Big deal.
And it was incredibly heartbreaking, incredibly disappointing. And then we also worked on the announcement of the acquisition, the integration. So
Mhm.
knowing that we would not be moving forward with the client was hard for the team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So one morning I was in my office and one of the senior member of the executive team came into my office and sat down and said, I wanted to talk to you about our thinking in terms of the move forward
Mhm.
plan and what we needed to focus on for the next few months. I need you to help us wrap up the business
Mhm.
and try to secure as much revenue as possible because
Mhm.
that is going to be our treasure chest
Right.
until we can replace the client.
Right.
And if you do this, we will give you a cut, like a commission
Mhm.
of, however, much that I end up basically able
Yeah.
to bill. And, obviously this has to be balanced with the client needs. You can't just
Mhm.
bill for the sake of billing and you need to think about what we needed to do. So we didn't have a big enough team to be able to service the client and then help them with their transition as
Mhm.
much as I think we could with the remaining amount of the budget. So I had to come up with a plan
Yeah.
and figure out how we're going to do this internally with the team that I have. I should also mention prior to this, we have lost some senior people to
Mm.
the winning agency.
Ooh, so it was a
So
double
uh,
whammy.
I
Oh,
yeah, so
yeah.
it was certainly a challenging situation. So
A lot of
the
people can
plan
feel
and
this.
well, yeah, I mean, it was hard. So I ended up basically um, coming up with a plan that was using the team that we have, working very
Mhm.
closely with the client, understanding what the needs are to help them basically, go through this, prepare for this transition. And then we had to go hire, I think, 20 plus freelancer in a
Mhm.
matter of
What?
2 weeks.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. And being in the hiring, I can say that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and not only hiring the right people, bring them on board,
Mhm.
and onboarding them in a way that we can
Mhm.
deliver the best work.
Exactly.
So that was incredibly, interesting experience. And at that time, I was an account director,
Mhm.
and I really didn't know, how I'm going to get this get this, get this done. But what I thought about was I have to do this because if I don't, we will be in a precarious situation as a team
Mhm.
and as a firm.
Mhm.
So I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to have this support of the leadership team and then We made it through. We replaced the client without really having to go through any financial hardship.
Great.
So it was a really proud moment for me and my team.
That's
And then,
great.
fast forward to maybe 10 years ago. Again, not about me. One of the responsibility I had at that time was to develop a business diversification plan. Part of what I have done in the last 12 years is really focusing on practice and agency transformation, expanding and scaling growth, and also just, thinking about helping agency diversify their business. So building a plan to diversify the business was one of my responsibility. I was able to develop the plan, I think, in 30 days. And after 30 days, I was ready to go. I was ready to roll out the plan. But what I learned was, if I want this to be successful, I have to bring as many people with me on a journey. And I need to think about the pace that they're moving and what they need to be able to be on a journey with me in a meaningful way. So I ended up pausing or slowing down and talking to people, helping them understand why we're doing this, why this is important, and how can I help them to be part of this journey. So it took a couple extra months instead of rolling it out in 30 days. But again, it was important, and we managed to have a really successful plan in terms of achieving what we wanted to achieve. But certainly there was a level of uncomfortableness for me because I was ready to go and I was ready to move.
It's really great advice. This is one of those universal truths, those threads in success, and to be successful. I mean, what the truly successful, what I find is they take it away from whatever it is that they making it about them, whatever it is that they need or feel that they want. And it is that they make it about the other person, whether that be their team or their client or their company, their manager, whatever it might be. But they make it about the other and do what's needed for that. And that is a catalyst for success. So really, really great advice. Thank you. So now tell us a little bit about Big Valley Marketing. I mean, what does Big Valley Marketing do well? What do you look for in your own talent?
So Big Valley Marketing is a 9-year-old marketing and communication firm. We are independently owned, founded by one of the most, I think, renowned Silicon Valley technology communication veteran. And we are in about a dozen markets in North America. Also have outposts. What actually makes us different, or why should people care about it? It really has to do with what is available to clients from an agency model standpoint. Historically, there are 4 common options for agencies. You can go hire a holding company agency, which will give you the coverage and the footprint. But by and large, the team is mostly generalists. They because the footprint and the coverage is really, I think, what's appealing to a lot of companies. Then there is kind of another option of an agency that was acquired by the holding company. And somewhere along the line, they have to go through the earnout process. So as part of the earnout process, they may or may not have changed their way or lost their soul. And then the third option is you can go work with a specialist, independently owned agency, but they probably have a dominating or looming client. Sometimes we call that an 800-pound gorilla client, right? And then they really have to focus and service that client. And the fourth option is you go and hire a scrappy upstart agency that is hungry for the business, but they may not have the experience and the scale that you need to really address all the different marketing and communication. Well, Big Valley believe there is a different way that you can have experienced people. You can go deep on a domain expertise or the sector expertise, and you can still provide the coverage and the footprint that your clients need. So our model is a team of expert model, which means, we don't have someone that comes in and they work on press releases, they work on pitching, they work on writing, they work on clients. if they're a media influencer expert, that's all they do all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're a strategy and planning expert,
Smart.
that's all they
Mm-hmm.
do all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And the average experience of our people are about 15 years.
Great.
So they
Great.
can guide the clients through
Mhm.
the various marketing and communication needs that they have.
These are the experts that you need. It's a really smart model. I love it. I remember talking about that
You
long
take
ago.
the credit for
Yeah.
that.
Great model. So, well, before you go, I'd love if you could share with us maybe something that you've either read or watched or listened to that had a positive impact on your own life or your career that you think other people could benefit from as well.
I'm an avid reader. I love to read,
too.
and because I don't have a lot of free time, so I try to read things that actually I can apply to my work.
Mhm.
Right, so they're mostly business, marketing, leadership books. The ones that really stuck with me are Jim Collins. I am a huge Jim Collins fan. So Good to Great has to be on the list.
Mhm.
I'm a huge fan of the late, what is his first name? I try to remember. Christensen. How Will You Measure Your Life? I cannot remember his first name right
How
now.
you how you measure life is the book, though.
How will you
Okay.
Clayton? Oh, sorry,
Clayton.
Clayton Christensen.
Yeah.
How Will You Measure Your Life?
Mhm.
And I also love the book from Beth Comstock in terms of, I think it's called Moving Forward or Thinking Forward,
I think I have
right?
that. Yeah, I don't know if I've read
Yeah,
that, but I think I have that. Yeah.
yeah.
I'll have to-
And then Ray Dalio's Principle, which I think is a really good guide for business leaders.
Fantastic.
One that I'm really looking forward to is Adam Grant's new book.
Mhm.
He has a book coming out in October that is really going to be around how do you unearth your own potential, but also others' potential.
Ooh, great
And
for leaders.
so pre-ordered it on Amazon, waiting for it to be
Yeah.
shipped.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, thank you. I love good examples of books that will help elevate your life in some way. So I appreciate it. Katie, thank you so much for joining us on the Career Wanderlust podcast. I appreciate your time. It's been so much fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on the Career Wanderlust podcast. If you find value in learning from others, give us a like and subscribe. If you're looking to grow your communications, marketing, public relations, or sales and biz dev team with the best talent and quickly, check us out at paradigmstaffing.com and submit a request. We are wishing you a most successful and fulfilling career. Until next time.